You go onto your Facebook. I'll go onto mine. So we should be live in a
on the phone.
Pardon?
Go Facebook on the phone.
No, go however way you've connected.
Well, I'm connected.
That's fine. Yeah, you should be connected now.
Well, I'm connected on the phone. Where am I going to? Am I going to your group?
Yeah, you'll be in the group. The live wedding. You should be in the group. Yeah, I can see you. I've got you. Perfect. That's it. I can see you.
Go Facebook on the phone.
No, whatever you're on is fine. I can see you.
Well, I'm connected.
That's fine. You should be connected now. Don't go on the phone.
Am I going to your group?
You're going to my group. The live wedding. You should be in the group. Yeah. Yeah, I can see you. I've got you. Perfect. That's it. I can see you. It's not on your phone, Thufayel. It's on through your computer. Don't touch your phone. That's fine. You should be connected now. Don't go on the phone. Am I going to your group? You're going to my group. You should be in the group. Yeah. Thufayel, can you hear me? Thufayel?
Right, John.
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't touch your phone.
No, I'm not on the phone. I'm on my laptop. Now tell me, do you prefer me like this or do you want? Is it okay now?
No, it's very squeaky at your end.
Right, there's about 5-second delay between the StreamYard and the Facebook. Right, John.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I'm not on the phone. I'm on my laptop. Now, can you see what's going on?
Yeah, I can see you.
Is it okay now?
No, it's very squeaky at your end. Very, very squeaky.
Right, there's about 5-second delay between the StreamYard and the Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. Right, hold on.
Can you see what's going on?
I can see what's going on. It's just leave your phone. Just stay on StreamYard. Forget the phone too far. Turn your phone off.
Is that okay?
That's better.
Can I just stay like this?
Yeah, that's fine. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Fantastic. Thank you very, very, very much. Right. Are we ready to go? Okay. So bear with me a second. Let me just share into my group. 2 seconds. Share. Jonathan interviewing. Thufayel. Right. Okay. Here we go. Okay. A very, very good evening to you all on this Wednesday, and a very good evening to you, Jay Ben Sands. Thank you very much for the first person to be tuning in this evening. Ladies and gents, first of all, to introduce myself to you all. My name is Jonathan Waterman. I'm an award-winning wedding and events Toastmaster, coordinator, planner, celebrant auctioneer, consultant, and booking agent for other services. Today, I'm delighted to be interviewing Thufayel. Now, Thufayel is the joint proprietor of the Ariana Group. This includes 2 wonderful venues, which are for weddings, Ariana Banqueting based in North London and Ariana Gardens based in Chelmsford in Essex. He's also the joint proprietor for Sultan event caterers. I'm just really honoured today that Thufayel is happy to be interviewed by me. So thank you very much, Thufayel, for being here.
Thank you.
So, ladies and gents, before we get started on the interview, I want to do what we do every time here. As we know, we've had nearly 30,000 deaths in the UK, but for COVID-19 here. It's an absolutely terrible episode. I'd like everyone just to close their eyes for just 1 minute to think about all those people that have lost their lives. Just have them in your thoughts, you know, just for 1 minute. So just all close your eyes and we'll be back to you. That's lovely. Okay, thank you very much, everyone. So let's get started in a few moments. Yeah.
Can you hear me, gentlemen?
I can hear you. Yes, indeed. Yeah, I can hear you. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for your thoughts. So let's get started. A very good evening to you too, Thufayel.
Yeah, good evening to you too, and everyone else that's tuned in today.
Thank you very much, and so lovely to be interviewing you. First of all, for everyone here, can you just kindly reiterate and tell people who you are and what you do, please?
Yep, sure. So my name is Thufayel. I'm the managing director of Ariana Banqueting Hall, Ariana Gardens, and the Sultan event caterers, which is under the Ariana Group banner. But I'm also the CEO of the Asiana Wedding Magazine, where we publish the Asiana Wedding magazine every season, and we do the Asiana Bridal Show that we hold in London and one in Birmingham.
Yep. So that's absolutely fine. Thank you. Thank you very, very much for that. So next question I'd like to ask you, Thufayel, if that's okay with you, is bear with me 2 seconds. I just want to get the next one. Okay. Great. Okay. So what I would like to ask you next, Thufayel, is basically how long have you been in the wedding industry for, and how did it all start for you?
Right, sure. So pretty much I've been in the wedding industry pretty much all my life. I started off in 1984.
Yeah.
When I was about 16 years old.
Wow.
16, 17 years old. We used to print wedding cards. That's how I really first got in there, from the wedding card business, because we're publishers, publishing magazine, newspapers. So we kept it linked to that. So yeah, very long time. The venues we've been doing for about 7, 8 years now. The magazines we've been doing for about 24 years. 24 years, yeah. 1997, the first Asian wedding magazine that we took out from the inside of the Eastern Eye newspaper, which we published back in the 90s.
Wow! Oh my God! So it started sort of you're quite early on in life. It all started for you, which is wonderful. And then as sort of time's gone on, you ended up sort of going into becoming the proprietor of some very successful venues. I mean, being Ariana Banqueting and Ariana Garden. And obviously, I take it with your link up to the Asiana, they've been pushing you as well, I suppose, being all in one. They've been giving you publicity too. Is that correct?
Absolutely. I mean, he actually started off with the Asiana magazine. The idea behind getting the venues was to do the photo shoots for the actual magazine photo shoots in the first place. And the photo shoots will be like maybe 3-4 months in the whole year. The rest of the time before we devote to weddings, but the weddings actually took over.
Okay. No, that's really, really good. So, so basically, it's basically gone from one extreme to another. You've gone from, I suppose, you've gone from Asiana, from Ariana Banqueting to Ariana Gardens, and and also now Sultan Caterers has come into play as well. So tell us a bit more about Sultan Caterers, please, if that's okay.
Sure. Absolutely. So Sultan Caterers came about because of the venues. In fact, when you've got 2 venues and your average wedding guests around 500-600 people, up to 700-800 people, they were obviously needing their catering facilities. Now, there are lots of good caterers out there. It only makes sense that if I've got 2 venues, I should be providing my own catering as an option, of course.
Well, I mean, look, it's a good thing, obviously, to have that behind you, to have that, because I mean, you still obviously, I'll take it as if you had to choose, basically, you'll always try and push your own caterers prior to obviously dry catering. I take it, so you can do the whole package for them. Is that correct?
Well, we don't really necessarily push catering. What we do is give them the option. Now, ours is the Indian food, if you like. So we cater for the Gujarati, the Pakistani, and the Bengali community. Recently, we've had a few African weddings who wanted Indian food. We've had a few English couples who wanted to have some English food, Indian food rather. So we've done that. And also, we can do Turkish food. We can do other varieties of food. So I mean, weddings and food are the same thing, aren't they? Really.
So which is a good thing, really. So you can kind of cater really for any audience. So really, what the good thing is about your venue, although you're happy for them to, although you would like them to use your catering and your decor and everything, you're also happy for them to bring in their own setup. Is that correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, if somebody has a preferred caterer that they've used in the past for their friends and family, yeah, why not bring them? Which is a good thing. I mean, the idea behind all this is we give people the option. If you want to have your own caterers, by all means. If you want to have it in-house, because still there's a lot of organizational hassle to book the menu and then book separate caterers. We're trying to do that all-in package here, so people have the venue and the food done, and we also do the decor as well, so there's less hassle.
Well, it's always good. I mean, to keep it all in-house, it can sometimes work out, as you say, it's less hassle, and sometimes in the long run, probably maybe more cost-effective for the client, knowing it's all under one roof. And that offers them that level of security, doesn't it? That they don't have to go here, there, and everywhere for everything.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, couples these days are busy people, right? They've got their jobs and they've got their own things that they're doing. Yeah. And once they book the venue, if they can then have the catering sorted out as well, that's still the biggest things taken care of, and then the decor. Then it's just makes life easier. So they've got one point of contact.
Which is really, really, really good. Which is very, very good. So tell us, I mean, obviously over your two venues, you also partner up with Milon. How did all that come about then? Have you known Milon for a long time? Have you all been part of your family, or how did that all come into play?
Absolutely. I mean, Milon, he is actually an industry man in his own right. He had his own decor company. Okay. He's had his own catering company in the past. And he's actually the all singing, all dancing wedding planner monster. So he's been in the industry for a long time. And I know with my commitments to my magazine and my other business interests, I need someone who knows exactly what the wedding industry requires. And Milon was a ready-made guy, so he was perfect. In fact, he's actually the operations person more than anything else. I mean, business side of things, I'm taking care of the actual organizational stuff of the weddings and stuff, and the catering. Milon takes care of that, and he comes with a big amount of experience in the Asian wedding industry. Been around a long time now.
Well, it's funny, yeah. No, it's absolutely, because I mean, obviously, having known you for a long time and knowing both venues, I've, you know, I know yourself, I know Miller and all the staff, and I always find that you're all very, very passionate about what you do. You only want to do your best for your clients and give them a wonderful experience. And as I say, whatever you can do for them, you'll do. Isn't that correct? You're very flexible.
Absolutely. I mean, we're very hands-on people. So when a client gets to first come in to view the venue, if they like the venue, if they like us, because at the end of the day, you've got to be getting along with your suppliers and with their supplier. So if they can have a rapport with us, that kind of is easy going with them, then they're at ease. You know? They can call us at middle of night, first in the morning. We're answering the phone call. We're there for them.
Oh, well, that's a very, very, very good. That's always a very, very good thing. They've always, as you said in the last couple of questions, there's always a point of contact. You're there for them, and you'll assist them whenever they need your help. I mean, that's always, that's always good for customer service to be spot on, really, which I know your operation really is.
Absolutely. I mean, look, when you think about what the industry you and me are in, Jonathan, I mean, you're a professional, right? I mean, you deal with all the suppliers. We're not a 9 to 5 kind of setup, right? We are open 24 hours, practically 7 days a week.
Yes.
365 days in the year. The bride to call us 7 in the morning, she can call us 3 in the morning. And we jump up and we answer the phone. And that's what it's all about. For them, for the couple, though their wedding day might be a maximum 6-7 hours, 8-hour event, but they've been reading to it for 8-9 months, maybe a year plus more. And we need to kind of be with them in that journey. So we're very hands-on. And we're with them all the way through. Any questions, any issues, we're like their punch bag. They take it out on us. We kind of feel their stress with them.
No,
I think that's what makes it kind of a bit more successful than other companies who has been not as busy as us, I'm afraid. That's because me and Milon have been giving 100% to every client.
Yes.
Good and bad, we've been with them, and we are with them all the time.
Well, that's right. You do, and as I say, ladies and gents, I can personally vouch for that because I've worked, as I say, in these venues many times, and I'm not just saying it obviously because Thufayel's here, but I'm saying it because from my own experience, and they really really do care, and the customers can see that they care, and that's always a very 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 good thing. So if I can just kindly ask you more about your venue and catering role, if that's okay. What would you say that really does drive you? And do you have any plans for further expansion?
Yes, I mean, one day my dream is to become a Toastmaster.
Thank you.
Only kidding. This, you thought of that market too good, right? That's the other domain. No, yeah, the venues, it doubles up as my photo studio for the magazines. So I've done a lot of photo shoots there, so that's fine. The catering is a passion. I mean, we love food. I love my food. I love my Indian food more than anything. So it was just kind of like marrying the two up, if you pardon the pun. The wedding venue and the catering business, it kind of like was almost made for each other.
Yes. So which is good. So I mean, basically everything sort of goes hand in hand, really, which is always a good thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's so I mean, capacities of your venues are quite long. We were talking about that earlier. You've got two very big venues. I mean, both different types of venues.
Yeah.
So I mean, tell us more about Ariana Banqueting. How many people it can actually hold, and a bit more about it first of all.
Sure. So the Ariana Banqueting Hall, it's on one floor, massive car park, massive gardens at the back. We're in a very secluded part of North London. It's a very kind of like urban kind of a venue with a lot of greenery as well to add to that. But it is very much a 350 to up to 800 seater venue. So we can do the smaller venue capacity, we can do big capacity. And it is exactly what it is, banqueting hall. You come in, you have your food, you wander around in the garden, you take your pictures. We've got a massive, massive pond. We've got rolling hills. It's a beautiful venue if you want to be in the city. And our car parking is around 400 cars plus. So there's never any issues for the suppliers to park their cars and vans and for the couples. Plus, we have the exclusive frontage where you get 8 or 9 of your special limousines and your Railways and your Ford Cortinas to come and park up. So it's quite unique in that sense. Whereas Ariana Gardens is more of your rural, kind of your Essex kind of venue, and it's a mansion house.
Yeah.
Over 2 floors. Again, lovely gardens, but it's more of a rural setting. And the name suggests it's Ariana Gardens. It is set in the middle of massive gardens, flowers, and we have a massive duck pond. So it's 2 different parts of the venues, courses for courses. We've had some members of the family love to get married in banqueting. Others have then wanted to get married in gardens, but they wanted the services from us. So we've kind of given them that option. That's where I think we're quite unique. That we've got the city kind of venue and with the kind of venue.
No, that's great. And you was also saying about a civil ceremony license. Is that correct? You're a civil ceremony license for both venues. Is that right?
That's right. A lot of venues out there, lovely, beautiful venues. They don't provide that facility, but we are very proud to say that both our venues are licensed for civil ceremonies, so people can have their registry done in the mornings or in the afternoons, and then they can have their party and reception and dinner in the evening. So we're quite proud to say that we've got 2 civil ceremony licenses.
That's fantastic. Now, to our next question, something that's really come up a lot during the forums, whilst obviously this terrible episode has been taking place, I would like to sort of touch with you on wedding and events insurance. What's your take on it? Have you recommended it to clients, or do you do disclosures, or do you tell them where to go? What's your take on it?
Sure. I think insurance is a good thing to have, but insurance by definition is one of those tricky subjects, whether it's car insurance, house insurance, travel insurance, wedding insurance. Insurance is insurance. You've got to know what you're insuring for.
Yeah.
I'm hearing horror stories from couples who've booked our venue where now their insurance companies aren't paying up, or they're playing silly buggers with the small print. You get that all the time. You get that with household insurance, you get that with car insurance. They love taking your money, but not necessarily love paying out when you make a claim. So same with business insurance as well. So be careful when you take out wedding insurance. They don't always cover you for the things you think you're being covered for. So I'm not necessarily a fan of wedding insurances per se, but it's something that people should look into.
Yeah, I mean, basically, what the perceived perception was, and having read through the forums, is that some of the companies out there, if they actually put their wedding say up to a year ago, 6 months ago, when this virus was fairly unknown, they were actually being covered. There was actually a very small amount of cover for the pandemic, but whether that's going to come to fruition, it comes to the claiming point, and they don't pay out. We just don't know, do we? So.
Well, we're seeing evidence of that where insurance companies haven't been paying out. They've made their excuses. They're saying the pandemic doesn't really cover your policy. It's not cancellation like this or like that. It's a government thing.
Yeah.
They're making excuses. They're making excuses. There was that couple on Sky News. They're doing the rounds on BBC News as well. They're having a nightmare. They simply can't get the money out of the company.
Yeah, this is the whole big thing. I think in the future, though, basically, people will now be generally within the UK and the world, people will be more kind of how can I say, having to look into wedding insurance as a necessity, really the same as when they buy a car, because the amount of money that's involved in a wedding, you know, there's so many things that are covered. Obviously, you've got things like deaths in the family, you've got things like suppliers going bust, venues going into liquidation. There's quite a lot of things which probably the client should take into consideration to actually purchase wedding insurance, really.
Yeah, that's a good point. I think when they go to purchase their wedding insurance, they should speak to the broker, to the insurance company, and they should have a list of all the things that they want to be covered for. So they want to be covered for pandemic, they want to be covered for the wedding venue, they want to be covered for even the possibility of their marriage breaking up, you know?
Well, yes,
so, yeah, even suppliers letting them down, you know, all sorts of things. So, yeah, I mean, insurance, once you've got it, I suppose it's a bit of a peace of mind. I mean, how many weddings do you think out of 100 actually doesn't go ahead or company goes back? That's very rare.
I know, it's right. It's absolutely, but the figures showed 30% of couples took wedding insurance. But again, you know, you can leave it to them. You can say to them, look, wedding insurance is advisable, but it's obviously in their hands, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, it is advisable to get wedding insurance. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, it's not very expensive necessarily, and it is a peace of mind. Should anything like this happen, or should anything happen, you just don't know.
Absolutely. Thank you. Well, that's cleared up that point on wedding insurance, and thank you for your views on that, Thufayel. That sort of means a lot to the readers here, to the viewers.
Sure.
Just moving on to the next question. Can I ask you generally, do you actually use social media marketing a lot, and what platforms do you use? And sort of what do you feel is the most effective way to promote your venues and catering? What works for you on a social media basis?
Okay, for sure. Definitely without marketing, no one will be successful at all. But I would say the first point for us, we do use social media as marketing. We do have our own marketing company, Asiana.tv. I'm always in my own magazine as adverts, and I always take out a stand, our own exhibition. Yeah. But we do use a lot of Facebook. We do use a lot of Instagram. Yeah. We have a Twitter account as well. Yes. But with any business, whether it's the venue, whether you're the limousine or the caterer, the biggest advert you've got is your clients at the moment. For each wedding, that's your biggest advert. So if you bagged some advertising on Facebook or on Instagram, that's all good. But the word of mouth, you can't really beat that. That's the important. So the repeat customers.
Yes, right. It's your word of mouth that you're, you know, basically, it's your recommendations of they've had a family wedding, maybe another son or daughter maybe getting married, or if they've had an event and then they may be returning for another event. It is. I mean, it's that's how it becomes. That's how your name gets out, doesn't it? You know, people get to like you, and word of mouth is probably the most effective. I generally hear that from people that Instagram is very good for visual, more better than Facebook for visual. Would you agree with that?
Of course, I would actually. Instagram, I mean, it's got a lot of pictures and a lot of people share stuff and everything. Initially, I think when a couple look for a venue, they see who's been at these venues, who's had this caterer, and who's had that caterer. Instagram tends to have all the pictures, the glorified images, which is good. That gives you the initial idea. And then I think once people make the first call, it is actually because they've seen something on Facebook or on Instagram. So yeah, it is the way forward. But remember, the Instagram pictures aren't what we put up. It is what the put up, the clients and the people who have attended weddings as guests themselves. They may have had a picture, they've tagged themselves at this venue and that venue. So it is there. It is there. Instagram and Facebook is very important.
I mean, it's an interesting concept, social media, because obviously, you know, I can see it works for a lot of people, and obviously some people it doesn't, but it is an important part of our daily life now, where we do get a lot of prospects actually looking on. If I can just sort of touch on one other question in relation to social media, there are some people, again, it works for others, it doesn't. Does Twitter work for you at all?
Twitter not as much, because our weddings are visual things, yeah? They're colourful, they're light, people want to see what potentially their setup could look like. So Twitter is send more advice, comments and stuff like that. But I think the best one is actually Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat as well. I mean, I'm an old man, so a lot of social media stuff is done by our colleagues, and we do have a team that actually run our Instagram for us. So the pictures that you see aren't by me necessarily. The comments are usually by the clients. Snapchat is a good one, but definitely the Instagram, the sharing mechanism, the whole concept of social media is just dangerous. I mean, it is the future. It is the future.
I think with Snapchat, I think you'll have to give me a bit of training on that one. I mean, that's I'm fairly green on that, I have to say.
Yeah. But I mean, the biggest adverts by far is your one wedding that you're doing. There's like 400 or 500 people. That's an audience of 400 people who are actually physically seeing your venue, tasting your food, seeing Sultan, the Toastmaster, doing his magic. That's the best advert. And then they see those pictures kind of on the social media round, and that kind of like has the overall effect of confirming, you know what, that's what I want. So yeah, it's a combination of things, not just one aspect.
Well, no, absolutely. No, thank you for clearing that question up. Just moving on to a very, very important question, which I really want to raise with you, and I feel you can give us all some good feedback on this. Has COVID-19 had an impact on your business? How has it impacted your business?
Yeah, I mean, I think the first thing you said, has it? Of course it has.
I mean, I mean, obviously every business, the hospitality industry has been affected in a very, very, very big way. And of course, yes, if you don't mind me saying, I understand, yes, of course you've been impacted. Do you want to tell us, has it been a matter of postponements, you having to agree with clients? Is it, I mean, what's been your kind of process behind this?
Yep, sure. Yeah, so in March, when we first heard about the lockdown scenario, I mean, we were kind of following everything that was going on in other parts of the world. We were seeing what was happening in Europe, namely Spain and Italy. So we knew something like this was going to happen very soon in March, and it did. So on the 23rd of March, when we declared that we're going to have a national lockdown, all our March weddings and all our Easter weddings had to be postponed. So luckily, the couples who were involved, they moved their date to October, November, December. Some actually moved to the following year.
Yeah.
So luckily, most people are postponing. Some people are really distraught and just lost their mojo completely. They're thinking whether they're going to do the wedding this year or next year. Finding a date is proving to be more tricky than they thought, because it's fine that the venue might have a date, but then the cameraman may not be, the Toastmaster may not be available on that date, the limousine guy may not be, the makeup artist may not be. So finding a date that suits all the suppliers that they've booked is the priority. July, August, as we speak now, is most likely going to happen. Maybe we might get some restriction in numbers. If they open up restaurants and pubs and bars, which is equivalent to a medium-sized wedding, if you like. The problem with that is going to be is right now the brides are having difficulties in forcing their clothes, their shoes, jewelry, because the shops haven't opened up yet. That's the biggest drawback. But otherwise, people are being very pragmatic about it. I mean, we started off today's interview with a minute silence for the dead, which is very good. So when people think about the grand, bigger picture, they're thinking that, yeah, the weddings can be postponed. We can find a way to do the wedding. So, yeah, people are postponing, but not necessarily happy with it. I mean, you know, you plan a wedding for a year plus, and then all of a sudden it stops. It's not nice. It's not nice. And we don't know what's going to happen with the elderly. The elderly are being asked to maybe isolate themselves a little bit more to be cautious, which is something that, you know, is going to affect the Asian community for sure, because we have all our elderly people turn up to all our weddings.
You do, yeah. I mean, look. The only thing we can do is just sit tight, sit on the fence, and you know, hopefully, sooner rather than later, it will be lifted. But we can't, unfortunately, rush these things. And I think once it all does get back on track, I think things will be absolutely crazy again for us all.
Definitely. Look, this thing isn't going to stop people getting married. Definitely not. I mean, it's something that we need to get over. I mean, if you can be like, if you're ill, you don't go to a football match, you don't go to school, you don't go to work, you don't go to a wedding. If you're ill, if you're not ill, yeah, then you do go. So we'll be bouncing back from this problem. But yeah, it's going to be difficult for surviving for a lot of the suppliers. Whether you're a venue or a card guy or a limousine guy. And, the problem is surviving this year. We can survive till the end of the year. I think April, May, June, July for next year is going to be very, very busy. So you may start off this year, the industry, I'm afraid, in terms of finance, just somehow get through it and survive, help each other out. Next year will be good. I think I need to make a point here that the government is helping people out in various ways. Some people are getting more help than others. Claim for whatever you can, whether it's the grants or whether it's the new bounce back loan scheme they've got. Whatever it is, claim for it, go for it. Keep yourself there. Make sure the clients know that you're okay, and that's it. Just don't lose heart, because the wedding industry is a bright industry, it's a strong industry, and it's got a good future. So don't give up. Just keep strong, and yeah, next year will be good.
Well, that's really good. And then it's as you say, you know, it's funny because you've just touched on a question I was just going to ask you about the future, which you've just explained to our viewers here. And so basically moving forward from after next year, hopefully we'll be back to normal. Things will be thriving again for everybody. There'll be plenty of weddings, and it will just basically, hopefully this terrible virus won't return again. That's all we can pray, really, isn't it? And then we just carry on through, and we give our clients a wonderful experience.
Absolutely, yeah, of course. I mean, look, weddings are supposed to be happy occasions. They're supposed to be the opposite, if you like, of funerals. Yeah, this is where people are getting together, smiling, happy, eating food, just enjoying themselves, taking pictures and whatnot. You can't do that under a cloud of fear. You know, you can't do that with social distancing. The first thing you do when you see people at a wedding, you shake hands, you hug and everything. If that's going to be, you know, not allowed, then weddings aren't going to happen. I mean, I'm not going to be happy with my venue where everyone is wearing masks and everyone has to social distances. That's not what we see as a wedding. Wedding's got to be where you've got to be more open. It's got to be more free. And I think as the virus comes under control, as we get to slowly see the end of this horrible disease, I think people's mentality will be, now we're okay. People are going to be testing more. They're going to have more antibodies in them. Sooner or later, there's going to be a vaccine. So yeah, we'll get back to normal.
A very good question that's just come in from one of our viewers, from Surab Jain here, Thufayel, straight to you. He would like to know, what will you be doing to make venues social distancing friendly?
Sorry?
What would you potentially be doing to make your venue social distancing friendly if you had to?
No, I won't do it.
No,
weddings. It's a wedding. You can't do social distancing at a wedding. It's like you can't do social distancing in a football match. You know, you can't keep a meter away or 2 meters away from another player. Just doesn't happen.
No.
You know, that's not going to happen. If you've got social distancing in place, while you know, then there's going to be no weddings going on.
No, well, absolutely.
Let me say this though. While from the future on now, there's going to be lots of hand sanitizers everywhere. All our venues are going to be properly cleaned, sanitized before and after, and during the wedding. So we're going to do all our things that we can possibly do. But the social distance we can't, simply because of the whole social aspect of a wedding. You can't keep your distance at a wedding. It just doesn't work.
No, of course. Now, can I just ask you then, Thufayel? You've answered all my questions and you've been great. You've given us some fantastic insights, and the the viewers are loving listening to you here. Can I ask, is there anything else you would like to add to what we've spoken about? Anything you'd like to add and tell everybody?
Yep, sure. So a lot of couples are a bit concerned right now, what to do, what not to do. Now, the thing is, nobody knows exactly what's going to happen with the whole social distancing and weddings and mass gatherings and stuff. Talk to your venues, talk to your suppliers, see what the situation is. If you're not happy with it, see if you can find an alternative date for your weddings. But talk to your venue, make sure that everybody is on the same page. Talk to each other, but don't lose heart. Weddings are here to stay. If it doesn't happen this June, it will happen in July. It doesn't happen in July, it will happen in August. Deep down, I think we're going to be okay for July, August. May not be massive weddings, maybe smaller numbers, but they will happen, and people will enjoy themselves.
Absolutely right. So can I just kindly ask if there's anybody else here that would like to ask Thufayel any questions at all, just to based on what you discussed, or if you have any other opinions or questions you would like to run past Thufayel while we're interviewing him this evening. We'll just wait for a few minutes if anybody has any questions. So just say hello to a few people that have come on live anyway. We've had Mohammed Ahmed Janae, Jules Chowdhury, Surab Jan. So it's been quite a few people come on this evening. So a big thank you to you for taking the time to actually come on to listen to this interview. So Thufayel, we don't seem to have any further questions from anybody, but Thufayel would be more than happy to basically answer any questions that you may have. So just leave a comment on the forum here, and then Thufayel will be pleased to help you. Oh, we do have a question here come up. I beg your pardon, just as we're about to go. From Surab. He said, even if things open up, people need to have a sense of safety to come together. What sort of assurance do you provide to couples?
Right, okay, so the first one is like the word is the sense. If you feel comfortable, if you feel well enough, and you feel up for going to a wedding you've been invited to, you should go. You should be rest assured that all the venues will be fully sanitized. So there'll be hand washes everywhere. The doors will be continuously cleaned. The handles and everything will all be there in a nice, proper, clean sense of the word. Now, you should not worry. If you're worried about going to a wedding because you're ill, or you think someone you're going with it are ill, then don't go to a wedding. You've got to go to a wedding going with the mind frame. Yep, I'm going to someone's wedding. I'm not going to be a miserable mugger. I'm going to go there. I'm going to smile. I'm going to eat. I'm going to laugh. I'm going to dance. You're going to a wedding, not a funeral. You can't do social distancing in weddings. It doesn't work.
Yeah, no. Well, that's absolutely right. Thank you for answering that question. I mean, another question just come in for you, Thufayel, from J. Ben Sands here. What he's asking you is, I've heard of venues that are telling clients to take out insurance and claim on it just because they have it and then rebook. What's your take on that one?
Well, that's like saying, yeah, you know, you've had a crash. Now go and get insurance. You can't do that. You've either got insurance or you haven't. Now, before you book up, I think insurance companies aren't silly. Personally speaking, have insurance is good peace of mind, but make sure you read all the small print. Make sure you tell the broker exactly what you're looking for in the insurance, so he doesn't kind of then say, oh, no, I didn't think he's going to be covering for that or this. No, go for your insurance. But as a venue, we always tell people when they're booking up to consider insurance if they want to. But again, it's not for me to tell people to insure themselves. It's another added costs, and I don't know if anything goes wrong with their claim, they might come back to you and say, you know, you told me to get insurance, now it's not covering me. So something that you should do yourself. Look into what insurance policies there are available and what it covers. I'm sure there's third party, there's fully comp, and there's fire and theft, you know, and all the rest of it. There must be varying degrees of insurance here. But yeah, it's something for you to consider. It's not my domain. It's not something. I'm not an insurance broker. I'm not in the insurance industry. I can only just say, look into it. That's all.
No, that's a sensible thing to do. Just basically to point them in the right direction, and then let them take it from there. As I say, as long as you're advising people, obviously that it's a good thing to do. Then that's a good thing, which you obviously are, which is great. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say a very, very big thank you for you all for tuning in this evening, and a very big thank you to Thufayel for taking the time to be interviewed this evening. So a big thank you to you, Thufayel, again.
No problem. Thank you very much, Jonathan, for interviewing me. It's always a pleasure seeing you. Hopefully we'll see each other again in our venue. I'm sure we've booked you up a few times in August. So it's all good. Everyone else in the wedding industry, keep strong and don't worry about anything. Just survive this year and we'll be okay for next year.
Thank you very much indeed, guys. Thanks, Thufayel. Thanks a lot.
Take care now.
You too. Cheers.
Cheers. Bye now. Bye.